In 1859, in the San Pedro Valley, a group of surveyors set stakes to outline a new town, observed by two young Apaches. As they work, a war party emerges from the hills near their camp. Shortly after, a traveling missionary named Desmarais searches for Horizon, a town advertised as a place with land for all and the promise of an idyllic and safe paradise. An old hermit tells Desmarais he missed the town when he crossed the river. Desmarais backtracks and finds the bodies of the surveying party. He buries the two surveyors and a young boy killed by the Western Apache, as the land is part of their hunting grounds. Desmarais decides to build the settlement there. 4 years later, in 1863, the Horizon settlement seemed to be thriving, but an Apache raid led by Pionsonay attacks, killing several residents, including the husband and son of Francis Kittredge. A local boy named Russell escapes to alert the United States Army at Camp Gallon, a fortified settlement outside indigenous territory. The Army, led by First Lieutenant Trent Jefford and Sergeant Major Thomas Riordan, helps bury the dead and assist the survivors, offering them refuge at Camp Gallon. Frances and her daughter Elizabeth decide to leave with Jefford's detachment, while Russell volunteers to join a group led by survivor Elias Janney and scalp hunters led by Tracker to pursue the Apache. Jefford warns the bounty hunters against indiscriminately targeting Native Americans, especially since he knows that scalping can be profitable. Frances and Elizabeth settle into life at Camp Gallon. Jefford's principles of not interfering with indigenous land clash with Riordan and their superior, Colonel Houghton, who believe in manifest destiny. Elizabeth befriends several army soldiers and is heartbroken when they are called away to fight in the Civil War. Meanwhile, Frances begins a romance with Jefford. At this tribe's settlement in the mountains, Pionsonay clashes with Elder Tuayese over his attacks on the settlers. Pionsonay fears the settlers will drive them out and lead to war with other tribes, while Tuayese believes in coexistence and possible retaliation for Pionsonay's actions. Pionsonay and his men, including one of Tuayese's sons, voluntarily leave the tribe to continue their mission. In Montana Territory, Lucy shoots James Skies and flees with her young son, Sam. Although Skies survives, he sends his sons, led by Junior and Caleb, to pursue her. Lucy finds refuge in a trading town in the Wyoming Territory, where she takes the name Ellen. She marries businessman Walter Childs and lives with Marigold, the town prostitute. Marigold tries to seduce horse trader Hayes Ellison for money, then returns home to care for Sam, while Walter and Ellen leave for a land sale. Walter and Ellen unexpectedly encounter the Skies brothers at the sale, and Walter is accidentally killed by Caleb when they capture Lucy. Caleb is sent to find Sam in town and encounters Hayes. They both head to Lucy's home, where Caleb finds Sam, but Hayes kills Caleb in a shootout. To evade Junior, Hayes flees the town with Marigold and Sam. They settle in an outpost where a gambler Marigold sleeps with offers her security. Accepting the offer, Marigold leaves Sam with a Chinese immigrant family and abandons Hayes. A wagon train led by Matthew Van Weyden travels the Santa Fe Trail in pursuit of Horizon. Among the group are a British couple, Juliet Chesney and Hugh Proctor, and the family of Francis's father-in-law, Owen. Juliet and Hugh's clueless behavior causes friction within the group. Two men secretly watch Juliet while she bathes in drinking water, and Van Weyden warns them not to do it again. Meanwhile, the scalp hunters intimidate an indigenous man in the gun shop, but Russell, Janney, and the shop owner defuse the situation. The hunters discover a Tonto Apache tribe and wait for the warriors to leave before massacring the remaining Apache, much to Russell's horror. In the east, land speculator and businessman H. Silas Pickering oversees the printing of flyers promoting the town of Horizon, the same poster seen earlier throughout the film. Over 60 years ago, directors Henry Hathaway, John Ford, and George Marshall collaborated to create How the West Was Won, a monumental film about America's expansion to the Pacific. With a stellar ensemble cast, the film portrayed white perseverance in conquering land and people, but its massive scale, competing visions, and regressive politics were drawbacks. For actor Kevin Costner, the film likely influenced his ambitious directorial return with Horizon and American Saga Chapter One. This 3-hour film attempts to correct past wrongs, but struggles with similar challenges, relying on familiar Western tropes and unfolding slowly with intersecting stories. The story begins in 1859 in San Pedro Valley, where a family is murdered by Apache warriors for encroaching on their land, setting off a chain of events that brings more settlers to the area. Some townsfolk seek revenge, while others, like Lizzie and her mother Frances, flee with the Union Army for safety. The film eventually shifts to the Wyoming Territory, introducing new characters including Costner's Hayes Ellison, a horse trader. His presence adds some momentum, but he feels like an afterthought amid the challenge of introducing all the main characters. The final segment, featuring a wagon train through Montana Territory, led by Luke Wilson's character, is the high point, with Wilson bringing depth to his role. Despite efforts to present both indigenous and settler perspectives, the film falls short, with indigenous characters receiving less screen time. In an era more aware of indigenous narratives, thanks to films like Killer of the Flower Moon and series like Reservation Dogs, Costner faces greater scrutiny. While Horizon sets the stage for future films, this installment is a difficult watch, offering few memorable characters and feeling like a gamble on potential sequels. As a result, Horizon keeps its best elements frustratingly out of reach. If you managed to get this far, we sincerely thank you for watching the whole thing. If you have a movie or TV show that you want us to cover, just comment it down below. We might do a video of it in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our playlist for more recaps.